District 511, regular meeting, board meeting, call to order, and will we have a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Nelson.
Here?
Padilla.
Here.
Kennedy, yes. Michaels.
Present.
Simpson.
Here.
Gorski.
Here.
Trojan.
Here.
We have enough for a quorum.
I do not think we need a member attendance by other means than physical. Trustee Soltow will not be here. Her daughter is in an award ceremony tonight, so she's got to be there for that. Any visitors to be recognized?
No visitors to be recognized.
Okay. So the next agenda item for the board is a public hearing pursuant to the Bond Issue Notification Act of the State of Illinois to receive public comments on the proposal to sell working cash fund bonds in an amount not to exceed $14.7 million for the purpose of increasing the working cash fund of the district. All persons desiring to be heard will have an opportunity to present written or oral testimony with respect to the proposed bonds. Are there any comments from members of the board? Yes, Trustee Gorski.
Just like to confirm that this bond is for the project downtown?
Yes, it is.
Okay, just for the public.
Sorry?
For on campus, to meet the match, that we have to fund the thing for the CDB, right?
Bonds for CO2 and HSC.
Yeah, it was a trick question. Yeah, it is.
Two capital.
Don't mess with me, please.
But I just wanted to clarify, you know, for anybody who might be viewing online or anything like that, that this is going to be spent on upgrades here on campus that have been long awaited. So,
Major capital projects.
yeah.
Is there any written testimony concerning the proposed bonds to be read into the record? Mr. Secretary, do you have any written testimony?
No, sir.
Okay. Is there any oral testimony or public comments concerning the proposed bonds? Anybody in the public have any comments orally?
No.
Hearing none. All persons desiring to be heard have been given an opportunity to present oral and written testimony with respect to the issuance of the bonds. I'd like to have a motion to adjourn the BINA hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Kudia motion and Nelson second. We need a vote.
Nelson.
Yes.
Padilla.
Yes.
Kennedy, yes. Michaels.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes.
Trojan.
Yes.
Motion's carried.
I declare the motion carried and declare that the BINA hearing has been finally adjourned. Moving on to the next topic, general presentations.
No general presentations.
No general presentations. Okay, approval of the minutes of August 13th Committee of the Whole meeting and August 27th regular board meeting.
I make a motion to approve both of those meetings, August 13th and August 27th.
Motion Gorski,
Second.
second Kudia. Roll call.
Nelson.
Yes.
Padilla.
Yes.
Kennedy, yes. Michaels.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes.
Trojan.
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Okay, action item now number 1, approve the claim sheet, check register, August 2024, number BR 8197. We have a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Motion Gorski, second Nelson.
Nelson.
Yes.
Padilla.
Yes.
Kennedy, yes. Michaels.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes.
Trojan.
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Next item is approve the purchase report A, fiscal year 25 purchases number BR 8198-A. We hear a motion, please.
So moved. Second.
Say again, who motioned?
Nelson.
Nelson motioned and Kudia second. Okay? Thank you.
Nelson.
Yes.
Padilla.
Yes.
Kennedy, yes. Michaels.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes.
Trojan.
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Next item, approve public hearing concerning the intent of the Board of Trustees to sell not to exceed $14.7 million working cash fund bonds for the purpose of increasing the cash fund of the district number BR 8199. You have a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Motion Cudillo, second Nelson.
I gotta find it on here. 8199.
8199.
It's not on here. Who moved it?
Cudillo. Nelson, second.
Thank you.
Any discussion? None? Roll call.
Nelson.
Yes.
Kudia.
Yes.
Kennedy, yes. Michaels.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes.
Trojan.
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Next item is approved dual and articulated credit memorandum of understanding with the Rockford Public Schools number 205 and number BR 8200.
So moved.
Second.
Motion Gorski, second Cudillo.
Nelson.
Yes.
Kudia.
Yes.
Kennedy, yes. Michaels.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes.
Trojan.
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Next item is approve Running Start intergovernmental agreement with the Rockford Public Schools number 205, number BR 8201.
So moved.
Second.
Motion Gorski, Cudillo, second.
Nelson.
Yes.
Kudia.
Yes.
Kennedy, yes. Michaels.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes.
Trojan.
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Next item is approve the personnel report number BR 8202.
So moved.
Second.
Motion Cudillo, second Gorski.
Nico. It's not Nelson.
Any discussion? Oh, Nico, sorry.
That's okay.
It's
We got
Nico
the same
second.
voice.
Cudillo motion, Nico second. You guys sound alike. Huh? Nico.
That's an insult.
I don't sound that old. No offense.
I was just going to say that.
Nelson.
Yes.
Kudia.
Yes.
Kennedy, yes. Michaels.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes.
Trojan.
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Next item is approve the intergovernmental storage agreement, the IGA, with City of Loves Park for the fire truck number BR 8203.
So moved.
Second.
Ouch.
Gloria. Motion Gorski, second Cudillo.
Nelson.
Yes.
Kudia.
Yes.
Kennedy, yes. Michaels.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes.
Trojan.
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Next item is the first reading of the adoption of the Board Policy Manual, Article 1, Board of Trustees Bylaws, number BR 8204.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Cudillo, second by Nico.
Nelson.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll
This
call.
is the first reading. There'll be a
Yes,
second.
the first reading. Right.
Do you want me to?
Yes.
No. I'll vote no.
No, he's got comments.
Comments, right?
Yep.
Article 1, Board Bylaws of the Board Policy Manual was presented to trustees at the September 10th, 2024 Committee of the Whole meeting. Redlined and clean versions of the board bylaws were printed in the packet and are also available online on the board section of the RVC website. Both versions are also included in the September 24 regular meeting packet, as this meeting is the official first reading. Also, if you've tried reading the electronic version on the website and the print was too small, you can always enlarge the font. Updating the entire board policy manual is a year-long project, and to keep the timeline rolling, I'm asking trustees to do the following. 1, review the red line and clean Article 1 documents in the September 10th and September 24th meeting packets and submit your suggested changes to Board Chair Bob Trojan and I by this Friday, September 27th. Your recommended changes will be vetted by both Robin Schwartz attorneys and the administration to ensure institutional and legal congruity. Changes will be included in the meeting packet for the October 8th Committee of the Whole meeting for review and discussion. 4, if trustees are in agreement with those changes, they will be documented in red line and clean versions and added to the October 22nd regular meeting packet to be voted upon at that meeting, the official second meeting. If trustees feel they need more time to review and discuss suggested changes, the second reading could be postponed to November to allow for additional time. And any questions or comments regarding the process?
Yes, sir, Paul.
Point of order. I don't believe this is an action item where we need a first and a second. It's open for discussion and for narration. Thank you very much for the details on it, but I don't believe it needed a first or a second. We're at the first reading. It's open for discussion. You could open for comment, and thank you for the timeline. I don't have any questions on the timeline. It's just a point of order in terms of we don't need a vote.
You're absolutely correct.
Do
There's
we need
no
a vote
vote.
on this, Joe?
There's no vote on this. You're correct.
Okay, it's a reading. Okay.
And then, if I may, I do have one other piece I want to add to this, a potential change that's been recommended by Joe Prokowski or Robin Schwartz attorneys. So I'm going to hand it over to Joe to sort of explain this change.
Very briefly, this is in section 1:10.040, section 8. It's called waiver of notice of meetings. It looks like a historical, let me put it that way, a historical artifact of a policy provision. I don't think it's no longer needed. It may have been inserted in the board bylaws because this pre-exists the board's policies and goes back to the board bylaws. Kind of check the history here. This section, I can read it. It doesn't, I don't think it's necessary, and it may actually cause some problems with respect to how I read the LMA, the Open Meetings Act. It says, notice of any meeting may be waived by a trustee. The attendance of a trustee at any meeting shall constitute a waiver of such notice for that meeting, except when the member attends the meeting for the express purpose of objecting to the transaction of any board business because the meeting is not lawfully called or convened. It basically says that if a trustee comes to a meeting and it later is determined that that meeting wasn't properly noticed, that the trustee has waived the opportunity to object to the meeting. I don't think we want that. It doesn't. I don't think.
I don't think
legally-
it's legal.
Pardon me. I don't think it is either.
Okay.
So my recommendation is to remove it. Most of the changes in this section, by the way, have been updating as opposed to changing anything substantively. So we were not going to change anything substantively unless there was direction from the board, at least particularly something of that nature.
Paul, you have a comment?
Yeah, I don't think it's legal, and then just for anybody that might be viewing online, we publish the meeting dates in advance. We have a calendar of them, and if there may be a weather cancellation or a disaster or something, we may cancel. But on the day of the meeting, if it hasn't been canceled yet, typically, the only thing that would call it not a meeting would be if we didn't have enough for a quorum and somebody did a quorum call. So, I mean, unless there was a weather disaster or something that very same day. So I don't see this needed. Thanks for catching it. So thanks.
My recommendation would be that for the second reading, we just simply remove section 8 of that
Okay.
part and
So noted. Any other
reorder the
comments?
subsequent sections.
Okay. Any other comments?
Sounds right to me, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
So still, there's no vote that's
There's
needed
No
for
vote.
that
No
change.
vote. Right.
But you'll
But
see
you got
that.
some head nodding that's saying
Yes,
they agree.
I see that as direction, which is all I can.
Okay.
Okay. Next item, where are we here? Other business, new business, and/or unfinished business?
I have new business.
New business.
A few months back, trustees, you had a conversation about looking into a lobbyist or lobbyist firm and what would that look like? So recently, I was approached by a firm called Mercury, and we met with former Congresswoman Sherry Bustos and her Illinois team. I invited the chair to the meeting as well with Jennifer Thompson and Ann Kerwitz to hear their team and what they brought to the table. They focus on public affairs, government relations, digital advocacy, media relations, policy communications. They're a multi-state campaign. They are bipartisan. They have, and she clearly shared that she had, on a federal level, she had different people that's part of the Republican side and the Democrat side that can assist us or aid us depending on our needs, as well as her team is really, I believe it's a 14-member team
In Illinois.
in Illinois that can help us downstate with various projects and things of that nature. So right now, we're looking at what does that look like and how much that would cost us. She's saying, depending on where we want to go with it and how much, we're really looking at about $6,500 per month for those services on a federal level and a statewide level.
Right. All right. And so what do we get? We get, every week, we get a listing and digested of all the bills that are coming up for voting or being worked on, so that we would have immediate access to anything that could be grants for us. They also would provide, at extra cost, grant writing, but we do have our own internal capability to write the grants. But on a weekly basis, we would get, as things are bubbling up in either Springfield or in the federal level, Washington, we'll see what's going on that might be money for us. That's really the bottom line. The other thing is they would like a 1 year, but with a 30-day dropout in case after 6 months we say, we don't think this is working. We could opt out after 6 months, 4 months, 9 months, or keep it going for $6,500 per month. So we're awaiting a written proposal by the end of the week so we can see factually what they're really going to do and what it's really going to cost. But those are the nuts that we gleaned from the meeting the other day. John?
I would say that I have advocated that we get a lobbyist for the state of Illinois for some time. I would be more comfortable, at least with the state of Illinois, of having a lobbyist that has depth and breadth of experience. And I would certainly want time to get a feel for this particular firm.
Sure.
And I think we ought to perhaps look into what's available, and I think the lobbyist for the ICCTA would be a good place to start with that. And I have talked with her, by the way, privately. She could not, she said, in good conscience, represent us and then the rest of, or the ICCTA, because she represents all the junior colleges.
Right.
And sometimes what we need is someone who can push our interests, even if they impact other community college interests. And so, and that's, I think, our greatest need. This, the old regime, and I'm talking about Mike Madigan and the former president of the Senate are gone. But the new speaker is nicknamed Madigan Light. So we want somebody who has worked in Springfield and worked with the speaker and whatever. And I'm not saying that this firm doesn't have that. But as our lobbyist said, there are you need a serious lobbyist in Springfield, and I think likewise in Washington, and I'll look into that too.
Well, if you have any suggestions, let us know. They will do, if I remember right, the federal only, but also federal plus state. So there's actually a two pricing structure.
Right. Well, I would suspect that, Congressman Bustos was very close to the former speaker, and I would think she'd have great contacts in the House.
Well, she went on to talk about how many contacts on both sides of the aisle that she knows personally and has worked with on different committee things. So
Freight at the federal and state level.
At the federal and
both
state
sides
level.
of the aisles.
Yeah.
And,
Well, I believe me, if we are going to pay money for a lobbyist, I think we ought to really narrow down how much, and I think we ought to get a serious lobbyist.
well, at this point, all we've done is listened, and we've asked them for a proposal, a written
Right.
proposal.
And I'm not saying that this firm is not serious either.
Yeah.
Right.
I just don't know.
I think it's
Gloria?
You may have answered my question, but does this firm specialize in community colleges, or are they lobbyists in
No, they
general?
do other kinds of things. So agriculture is one of their, in Illinois at least, they do agricultural. They are working with one other community college in the state of Illinois that I don't remember I don't think
Yes.
they disclosed the name, actually. But anyway, they're trying to broaden out their
Well, right, they're looking for business.
They're looking for business.
And they've worked with higher education, they have worked with the community colleges and the four-year institutions, and they shared how they helped them in a short period of
Yeah,
time
right.
achieve one of the goals that they put before them.
Paul?
Yeah, so former Ms. Bustos has worked in Congress, local government, and in media, newspaper reporting and stuff like that. I mean, and has a boatload of contacts, but without a firm, and then I'm assuming she would have built a team to fill the gaps that she has and not necessarily overlap with any skill sets that she has already. So, but I'd be interested to see the a la carte pricing that they have, the federal and the state. John's worried about the state. I'm worried about the state too. But given that pricing, if that's pricing for federal and state, one good grant pays for that, pays for that year,
Right.
really. So I just like to see what, the devil's in the details, so.
That's why we asked for the proposal. But they were very clear on, there is federal money out there for community colleges, so this is the time to jump
Right,
in.
right.
And I would just say that legislation just continues to move fast, right? And our legislators are some of the most active, our local legislators are some of the most active in the state with producing legislation and things of that nature. And yet, you still need somebody in Springfield talking about it on another level and helping us. The ICTA and the Illinois Community College presidents work with lobbyists, and that's the one you were referring to, Trustee Nelson. But their job is to look at the big picture and look at the top issues or legislation that's going to impact ICTA overall or community colleges overall, and then they help us to make a decision on whether or not we're for, against, or neutral in taking a stance. But that doesn't always help the local community colleges, what Trustee Nelson was saying before. And so I do think we should seriously consider somebody, and I do agree with Trustee Gorski that if we go down this path, we have to think about strategy and why we want this and what they can do for us so that there's a set goal or two or three. And if one of them would be with grants, we have several grants. Sometimes we do a great job of writing them, and other times we are stretched thin because they just keep coming. So if there's a certain grant they could identify, maybe, and help us with, maybe it covers the dollar amount. The other piece I want to echo Trustee Trojan on is there's a 30-day notice to cancel the policies. So preference is given for at least a 1 year. long contract, but if we don't see the benefit of it, we could give them a 30-day notice and cancel the contract
Within that year.
within that same year.
So we'll see what the written proposal looks like. We'll let you look at it, and we'll
Well,
discuss from there.
let our attorney look at it.
Oh, of course.
yes,
That's-
yes.
Of course.
Attorneys will look at it and see what that is, and then after they look at it, we'll share it with the
Yeah,
board.
absolutely. That's the whole idea, is to get it out in front of us. Yes, ma'am?
Yeah, I just have another quick question. Maybe just refresh my memory. Do we have perhaps a long-term plan for what we're looking to accomplish within the next 5, 10, or 15, 20 years that we could utilize maybe some of this expanded service?
Well, we looked at the 10-year financial indicator, but as far as trustees are concerned, you prefer with it being a 3 to 5 year window. But our strategic plan is like really about a 5-year plan, and so we go every 5 years regarding that. Regarding facilities maintenance, our facilities master plan, that's 10, 15, 20 years, that's ongoing because it's an inventory and it lets us know when we have to do maintenance on each of the buildings. So that goes further out for that purpose of maintaining the entire campus.
Okay, thank you.
It would be wonderful if there were some grant money that could supplement the bond issues instead of us issuing all the bonds. Some of it come from the government. Wouldn't that be good? I mean, they said there's money out there. Nico?
So, so the former Congresswoman, does she have more pull in the federal than Congress, or rather in Springfield, or is it?
She's a federal congresswoman.
Well, yes. Well, Mercury, she's not the only
Delegate.
delegate
Yeah.
or partner within this. Mercury is a large firm. She has 14 people between Peoria, Springfield, and Chicago.
Illinois.
Right, that helps with statewide, but then they expand much larger than that on the federal level. So she has different, and that's why she's able to comfortably share that depending on who we need to go to, whether it's a Republican or a Democrat, they already have the connections and the relationships that they can reach out to on either side of the aisle to move forward.
All right.
Good question.
All right, thank
Any
you.
other, yes, sir, John?
There is an issue that we talked about, and I will go into that on the ICCTA report that might relate to this. It was about AI.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Not for now.
Okay, hearing none. Next item, Mr. President.
No unfinished business. And
No one finished?
No.
Then we'll go to the president's update.
All right, thank you. As always, the fall semester requires us to sprint toward the completion and/or participation of various goals and events. I will acknowledge some of them, but will not go into detail because they will be shared by others this evening. We began September with our Professional Development Day, which received positive feedback. Thank you to Board Chair Bob Trojan for attending at the beginning of the event. I also attended Illinois Community College President's Retreat, which was sponsored by Robin Schwartz at the Allerton Park and Retreat Center. I presented on our CRM progress and case management advising, and thank you to Robin Schwartz for sponsoring that event. It was another a positive experience for presidents. Trustee Kadia, Dr. Levinas Mohammed, and I attended ICCB Adequacy and Equity Funding Work Group meeting in Springfield. That was a very interesting experience as well. I also want to thank Robin Schwartz for their virtual legal update conference, which they presented on several hot topics. I know several people on campus participated in the multiple webinars that you presented, and thank you once again for facilitating that. As busy as September has been, October is already a blur. The months of September and October serve as part of Hispanic Heritage Month activities, which may be recognized in the event's calendar. Also, in recognition of the National Hispanic Heritage Month, there was an RR Star Spotlight by La Onda on Vice Chair Gloria Cadillo, recognizing her leadership and contributions in the community. So if you didn't get a chance to read it, you missed it, but I'm sure you could find it. In regards to October 1st is the ICTA Northwest Region Trustees Meeting, which will be hosted by RVC and held at the ATC. You should have received a draft agenda via email. If there are any updates or recommended changes, please let us know, and please be sure to email Ann Kerwitz and I regarding your attendance to the event. At this point, just do you know?
I RSVP'd.
You already did?
Yep.
All right. Did everybody get a chance to RSVP at this point that's planning to attend?
I'm sorry.
For Tuesday, ICTA Northwest Region meeting, next Tuesday, 5 o'clock at the ATC.
Well, I'm coming.
All right. I hope so.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. October 10th is RVC's birthday, which we'll be celebrating. You'll learn more about that in a few minutes. October 14th and 15th, you have heard about the HLC reaccreditation visit. Trustees will meet with HLC reaccreditation team on October 15th. Please let us know if you haven't RSVP'd for that. Please also let Ann Kerwitz know that you're planning to attend. I believe that's at 7:30 on October 15th. October 17th is our Golden Eagles Family Luncheon celebration. The 60th year anniversary. October 18th is our Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society's fall induction ceremony. I believe it started at 7 p.m. It'll be in this room, actually, on Friday, October 18th. The induction ceremony doesn't take very long, but it's a nice induction ceremony to attend if you haven't had opportunity to do so. Phi Theta Kappa students typically, when graduating and transferring to a four-year institution, they usually receive anywhere from $500 to, I've heard, $20,000 a year for some of the private colleges and things of that nature. We will be ending October by attending the ACCT Leadership Congress from October 23rd through the 26th. And our presentation topic is titled, A Collaborative Partnership for Workforce Development. This presentation will be co-presented by Board Chair Trojan, Dr. Stewart, and I. It would also be included in the November Committee of the Whole packet as an informational item. This session features how Rock Valley College developed a relationship with AAR, an international aviation maintenance company, to positively impact the student experience in an FAA-approved aviation maintenance technology program. Results of the partnership include strategies that lead to scholarships, employment opportunities, and acquisition of a CRJ-200 jet. As part of Manufacturing Month, we also been having October board meeting. That board meeting will be at ATC, not the committee of the whole, but the October board meeting will be a part of how we celebrate. As the board decided to celebrate Manufacturing Month, we'll have that board meeting at the Advanced Technology Center. And I am thrilled. I would end by just saying thank you to the board for your active attendance and participation. Most of these events, and I know we'll speak to a little bit more in some of these other areas, but you're invited to these events to participate how you see fit, but with a lot of them is targeted towards you as well to engage with the campus, and so different professionals can get your input. So I recommend that you attend and look forward to your participation. Thank you. That ends my announcement.
Thank you.
Thank
Well,
you.
that's quite a chock full of activity for October, eh?
Absolutely.
Okay, leadership team updates.
Greetings, trustees. I'm proud to announce that Rock Valley College has been awarded the 2024 EAT Award. The 2024 Higher Education Excellence and Diversity Award is sponsored by Insight into Diversity magazine, the oldest and largest diversity-focused publication in higher education. The HEAT Award is a national honor recognizing U.S. colleges and universities that demonstrate an outstanding commitment to diversity and inclusion. Rock Valley College will be featured along with 113 other recipients in the November-December 2024 issue of Insight to Diversity magazine. I'm also pleased to share that I was selected.
It's okay to clap for that and celebrate.
Yeah, that is great.
I'm also pleased to share that I was selected again to give a presentation during the Illinois Council of Community College Administrators 2024 conference on Thursday, November 14th, 2024 in East Peoria, Illinois. My presentation is titled Empowering Future Community College Leaders Through Mentoring Relationships. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Congratulations.
Good evening, trustees. A few quick updates for you. Pleased to report that RBC hosted a very successful college fair on Thursday, September 19th in the PEC Gymnasium. We had over 100 college and university representatives in their space, and they participated and welcomed over 360 registered student attendees and probably over 850 or so guests. So it was a very good night. Thank you to the RBC enrollment and facilities teams for helping us organize that event. This is homecoming week this week at RBC, and our student life office team has scheduled several great events throughout the week that will culminate in the selection of our homecoming court and dance on Friday evening, September 27th. Winter and spring registrations are right around the corner. The advising enrollment teams are helping students plan schedules and will assist them with registration as that cycle kicks off on October 14th, which is also a busy part of October. Finally, our Phi Theta Kappa student organization, along with several other student and staff groups, have organized a series of food drives this month to support the RBC Eagles Nest Food Pantry. Thank you to all involved for helping us restock those shelves and support our students who are managing various food insecurities.
Good evening, trustees. We would like to acknowledge and thank our professional development specialists, Mr. Justin Severson and Dr. Terry Wonke, for successfully coordinating our Faculty and Staff Development Day, as previously mentioned, held September 3rd. Faculty and staff benefited from engaging workshops and conversations to help us work and grow together as a workforce. At this event, we also recognize the exceptional contributions of employees by announcing our Rookie of the Year, Mr. Brent Jepson, Multimedia Content Creator, our Leader of the Year, Dr. Cindy Schaefer-Tobin, our Dean of Early College, and our Employee of the Year, Mr. Jeremy Talixon, Audiovisual Support Specialist, who actually lends his talents to us at each board meeting monitoring the audiovisual technology. The college is providing the opportunity for benefits-eligible employees and their spouses to participate in the annual biometric screening event from September 23rd to November 7th. The purpose of this event is to work with staff at RV Care to assess various measures of wellness and provide flu shots if desired. We are grateful for this opportunity to continue to address health and wellness needs of our employees. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Is it on? No.
It just pauses.
Oh, okay. There we go. Good evening, trustees. I have 4 updates for you tonight. First, exciting news in enrollment. As of this week, we have exceeded the fall 2024 budget goal by 3.5% and met the fall 2024 stretch goal. Since we were short in summer 2, that puts us 2% above budget for summer 2 and fall combined, and at 99% of the stretch goal for both terms combined. Earlier today, Dr. Spearman sent you an email with my notes from the September Committee of the Whole to help you prepare for the HLC site visit October 14th and 15th. There is one change to the information that was provided during my presentation. The meeting with trustees will be open meeting, not a closed session. The full assurance argument, executive summary, and federal compliance report are now available on the accreditation page of the college website. There was a link to that page within the email sent by Dr. Spearman, so you can access those resources and review them in preparation for the visit. These are the materials that will be reviewed by HLC between now and their visit. Some additional details about the 60th anniversary celebration. Join us on Thursday, October 10th to celebrate RVC's 60th anniversary. The celebration will take place on our main campus from noon until 6 p.m. with activities all over campus for guests to explore all that RVC has to offer. The campus will be alive with activities including outdoor games and recess activities courtesy of Early College near CL2. The library will do make and take bookmarks and media lab demonstrations in this building. There will be chemistry demonstrations with Professor Bill Lipton from 3 to 6 p.m. in the JCSM. Dessert on the patio, that's what I'm looking forward to. That will be apple cider donuts, courtesy of Edwards Apple Orchard, snow cones, cotton candy, and we'll also have music and games. That will be at the JCSM patio. In the Physical Education Center, there'll be a 3-on-3 basketball activity from noon to 1:30. In the Stenstrom Student Center, the eSports Club will be having in the game room, they'll have some eSports going on, but we'll also have hot dogs and chips and RVC trivia in the atrium. Student ambassadors will be available for campus tours throughout the event, starting at the Welcome Center, and we'll be playing some Find RV. RV will roam the campus and interact with guests, and there'll be lots of great photo opportunities with him. Each building will have a supply of event maps with activities. Guests will get their maps stamped when they explore the activities, and after they've visited at least 3 events or activities, they may return that to the JCSM patio and get an RVC anniversary t-shirt while supplies last. So I hope all of you are available to join us for all or part of that afternoon. It sounds like it's going to be fun. Finally, the Marketing and Communications team has 3 members at the National Council for Marketing and Public Relations District 3 conference this week. On Friday evening, Jennifer Thompson will be honored as the District 3 Communicator of the Year. And there are 7 NCMPR districts. Each district has 1 Communicator of the Year. Those 7 will be eligible for the national award to be announced in March. Jennifer is also the conference coordinator, and all 3 RVC attendees are presenting this year. Gabby Margagula and Brent Jepson are presenting on the use of brand ambassadors. Brent was our Rookie of the Year. And Jennifer is presenting on the connection between neurodiversity and creative work. Thank you.
You have a question?
Oh yeah.
Nico had a question.
You said something about chemistry.
Yeah.
What was that again?
There'll be some chemistry demonstrations. There'll be some really cool experiments happening from 3 to 6 that day over in the JCSM to just kind of show how cool chemistry can be.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
And will the trustees be playing 3-on-3 basketball?
If they want to, sure, we'll get them signed up.
I'd rather be doing the chemistry since that's my background, so. I could show you some cool stuff too, but it'll stink up the room, so.
Okay, Dr. Hans, Dr. Stewart.
Good evening, trustees. October is Manufacturing Day, and at the ATC, we'll be celebrating Manufacturing Day on 2 occasions, on the 4th of October and on the 18th of October. We intend to invite 6 schools to the ATC. On the 4th of October, we'll invite Hononegah and Boylan, Byron, and District 100. And on the 18th of October, we intend to invite Meridian and Harlem. There are going to be 5 stations or 5 points of exposure for the students. They're going to get a tour of the ATC. We're going to expose them to the hydraulic excavator simulator for them to try it out. They're going to be able to also try out the virtual welding simulator. They'll get a tour of the truck driver training truck, and they'll also experience the Oculus headsets that we use to give virtual reality to some of the CTE professions. And we expect in total to have about roughly 200 students, all told.
Did I not hear you say District 205?
No, it was just, no.
They're not coming?
They were not available on those days.
They were not available on either date?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Please note that the board grunted.
Is it an all-day event or?
No,
half-
roughly about 2 hours.
About 2 hours?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's too bad, actually. I'm sorry, but wish they were. Okay, thank you.
Bob,
Thank you.
sent somebody, come on.
What?
They could have sent somebody.
I know they could have. I mean, you got the gist of my comments.
Yeah.
Well, good evening, Board. I wanted to give you a couple updates on projects that are going on. The first is going to be RVC Downtown. The photographing and layout documentation for the 3 existing downtown buildings that was required by the State Historical Preservation Office, or commonly referred to as SHPO, has been completed. And although we have other additional historic research and documentation that is needed, yesterday SHPO issued permission for us to proceed. So we got that done in a couple of weeks, which was really good. Speedy process through that. SHPO, so we have resumed the abatement of the buildings, and we will be working towards demolition of the 3 existing buildings. So that's good news. Good news is often followed by bad news. Power outage power outage has occurred on campus during the construction for the new power shed. During the installation of electrical conduits for the power shed upgrade, a contractor struck the high voltage feed that feeds the transformer that then feeds power to buildings E and F. These high voltage lines ran at a different path than what was documented on the drawings that RVC had, which are about 25 or 30 years old. During the locating of the utilities, this difference was not discovered. It's very difficult to locate primary power lines versus secondaries. So we do rely on the drawings. So the difference was not discovered. So currently building E and F do not have power, and power will more than likely not be restored until at least Sunday. Since the locate conducted by RVC did not mark the power lines in the exact location where the strike occurred, the cost to repair them will more than likely become the responsibility of Rock Valley College. This type of high voltage line requires special installers to repair it. It's basically the same as fixing a ComEd line that runs out on the street, but it's buried in our campus. The only contractor who was available in this area that can do it was Helm Electric. They have come out and are helping determine costs to repair the lines. This will not be a change order since Miller Electric is the electrician for the project, but they are not qualified to conduct the work. So we will have to do a separate agreement with Helm to fix the power lines. What basically happened is they were directional boring. The high voltage power lines are covered by concrete and the pipe is underneath. The directional bore went under the concrete and just struck the bottom of the plastic conduit that the high voltage lines were in. And when it caught, it grabbed them and pulled them. And it actually pulled them loose in the student center and broke the fuse inside the student center. So there's a fair amount of work that will need to be done in order to fix that. One of the things that we are working on to try and prevent this in the future, and we had been working on, unfortunately didn't have it in place yet, is purchasing what's called ground penetrating radar equipment. That would have helped us locate these high voltage lines because they're very difficult to locate in the traditional manners. So we are going to be working towards getting these items fixed and looking for continuing to go through the process to select a ground penetrating radar. Any questions on that one?
John?
Just a few questions. One, you said our contractor was Noah Electric?
Miller.
Oh, Miller.
Yes, sorry.
Now, was that Miller Engineering or some Miller from?
It's the local Miller electrical contractor.
Miller Engineering.
Yeah.
Miller Engineering? Yeah, Miller Engineering.
Okay. And did this radar equipment to locate these lines, Are they available by rent, or does Miller didn't have them, or?
It's not the responsibility of the contractor to do the locate. It's the responsibility of the owner of the line, which in this case was Rock Valley.
Well, that's by the contract, right?
That's by Julie.
Pardon me?
That's by Julie, the Julie locating rules. So we have to locate our lines. And with the current technology that we have, it's very difficult to locate those lines. And unfortunately, or fortunately, this summer, we had people come out with ground penetrating radar and show us how it works. And we were looking to get that. So hopefully we can prevent this in the future.
Okay. So do we have an estimate of how much, well, first question is really, was anybody hurt when this happened?
Fortunately, the directional boring machines are set up so that if they do strike electrical, they don't hurt anyone. So fortunately, no one was injured.
Okay. And secondly, do we have an estimate of how much this is going to cost to fix?
They are still working on that. The strike just occurred Friday, and there's a lot of troubleshooting and things that need to go on, but I would suspect we will be probably into the $20,000 to $30,000 range.
Okay. How much is the electrical radar equipment that we're looking at?
It's about $20,000 to $30,000. So
okay.
It will be worth the investment. Unfortunately.
Well, obviously, but how soon can we get it? And do we have any other construction that is in danger of doing the same thing?
As of right now, we don't have any construction that is in danger of that until we, later on, I'm going to be talking about the baseball and softball fields that we're bidding out. So that we will need it by then, which is next summer.
Are we going to be able to get this equipment in time before we do that?
Yeah, I think we'll be able to do that. If it's, we'll have to bring it to you guys if it's over 25,000, obviously. But yeah, I think we can get it.
Well, if we need a special meeting for that, I would suggest that the chairman might be willing to call it.
Okay, I will keep that in mind, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir, Paul.
Yeah, the ground penetrating radar wouldn't only be for electrical. It would be.
It's actually for everything.
It's for everything, yeah. I mean, so it would catch not only electrical, but if there was something, other types of conduit.
Fiber optic or,
right,
yeah, whatever.
Right, so.
Mr. Chair, could I just say one thing? RPS was invited, but they are visiting the ATC at the end of October. So because they are visiting, they didn't see the need to come twice. They have a tour organized at the ATC.
So 205 is going to come later in the month?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not on a special...
Yeah, they just decided not to do...
Are they going to come in costume?
Come what?
Costume. It's the end of the month, right?
Now,
sorry.
Following up on this equipment, in lieu of a special meeting, I'm sure you would be able to anticipate this so we can get it on a purchase request well in advance.
Yes, sir.
Of when you need it.
Yeah,
so we don't need a special meeting.
Well, let's get it.
Yeah, and this
Right.
occurred, I think you said like Friday, but this occurred on Monday, yesterday?
Oh, sorry. I misspoke. I apologize. Yes.
So yes,
Sorry.
it happened this week.
I apologize. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, no worries.
Anything else, Mr. Jenks?
I just was going to say that we are planning on bidding out the sprinkler system and releveling the baseball, softball, and soccer fields, which I mentioned earlier. Construction for this will begin in May after the spring athletic complete their spring seasons. We're also working with the architects to draft drawings for the HSC third floor and the elevator with a goal of trying to bid it November, December, with construction in January and February. We will be bringing those drawings to the board so that you can review them beforehand. Finally, I have a CL2 update. Officially, we have not received in writing any confirmation from CDB as to the architect they selected. However, unofficially, it appears it is Bailey Edward Design, Inc. from downtown Chicago. We have never worked with Bailey Edward Design, but we look forward to working with them for this project. There were 4 firms that were interviewed. One was Bailey Edward. The other one was Hullabird and Root out of downtown Chicago. The other one was Corrigan Clark and Associates out of Chicago and Aurora, and Savagia Group Architects, Inc. out of Rockford, Illinois. At this point, it's not, the next step is CDB will begin negotiation with the architect firm to see if they can come to a price.
And we don't do that, the board does?
That's all CDB, yes, sir.
Yeah.
CDB, yeah, they do it all.
That's all I have.
They manage the project, right? They manage it, yeah. Thank you.
Good evening, trustees. Tonight, I would just like to congratulate or recognize Dr. Beth Engel for receiving the Holocaust Educator Award from the Jewish Federation of Greater Rockford during their annual Holocaust Remembrance Day ceremony at Midway Village. She also received recently a grant from the National Holocaust Museum, through which she has been able to offer several virtual tours via the Illinois Holocaust Museum. There is one remaining on September 26th. It's the Shanghai Safe Haven during the Holocaust. Lastly, I just wanted to, again, comment on the phenomenal day we had at Professional Development Day. You may be, sick of hearing about it, but I don't care, because it was just truly an opportunity for us to focus on HLC and the strategic plan, and acknowledging the exceptional education and training offered at Rock Valley College, while at the same time striving to always continually do better as we serve our students and our community. Again, I wanted to echo what VP Huntley said, that really we're grateful to Dr. Terry Wanke, Justin Severson. The efforts to coordinate this event is not insignificant, with over 340 employees dedicating their entire day to learning more. That's quite a feat, and every year they work to make it more accessible and meaningful, and so we appreciate that work and appreciate learning with all of our colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. First, just a quick update regarding the audit. It's still in progress. So once it's complete, we will be sharing that with you. So I just wanted to let you know that. But the other thing I want to share with you is, typically, the foundation sponsors a retiree and alumni breakfast. This year, due to the 60th anniversary, they are upping their game to a lunch. So you are invited to a lunch on October 17th, starting at 11:30 a.m. This will be held in the Stenstrom Student Center atrium. And the foundation is asking for an RSV by October 10th. You should have received your invitation. So they are hosting luncheon, and I hear some trivia will be going on as we go through the decades of RVC and looking back. So I hope you're all able to make that.
It's on the 17th.
October 17th.
At 11 a.m.?
At 11:30 a.m.
It's the
11 or 11:30?
11:30.
60th anniversary luncheon for your
Yes.
family.
Oh, what date does it fall on? Date?
Thursday.
It's a Thursday.
It's Thursday.
Okay.
Thank you, Alan. Any other comments from the leadership? Hearing none? Thank you very much. Yes, sir, Nico?
For Dr. Smith, for Professor Engel, you said something with Shanghai. I can't recall what you said about that. When you were talking about Professor Engel, the Holocaust subject of Shanghai, can you recall what that was?
Yes, actually, I kept my notes but shut them already. But I will follow up with you if that's fine, to let you know where it will be held. I believe it's in the PAR on the 26th.
Of course.
And it was a topic, right? Shanghai was a safe haven?
Yes, Shanghai, a safe haven during the Holocaust.
Okay.
Something that's not really heard that much about.
I haven't heard of anything of that, so that'd be interesting. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
I think we're ready for the ICTA report.
Well, thank you. I attended John Nelson, I attended the ICTA meeting Friday. I had to come home because I left at 7 in the morning for a tour of Cape Cod. I talked with the president about giving a list of questions that were suggested for discussion. We picked number 7, the duties of your chair and the do's and don'ts that a chair can and can't do. Does your chair have more power than he or she are entitled to per your policies? How well does your chair communicate to the full board? And how experienced is your board chair? Policies specific to the college president. That was had the most votes to discuss. And then the second one, I believe, was understanding our role and part we play as community college trustee, board development beyond mandatory training, timing, frequency, focused topics other than board evaluation. And those discussions. There's always at least 2, sometimes 3 general topics like that are discussed among the representatives. And everybody is allowed to speak, and the microphone is passed around the room. We got a moderate lecture from the chairman about how let's not be repetitive and whatever, because in many of the situations, both the representative and the assistant representative are in attendance, but often additional trustees are there as well. And it's interesting to hear what the rest of the colleges, how their systems work, and they work somewhat differently around the state. And you know, I thought the discussion boiled down to if it's important for the people on the board to get along. Even if they have disagreements, treat each other with respect, and make sure that they keep in mind that the business of our business is educating students and providing the most safe, structured, and continuing place of education for the college. In the afternoon, we had a presentation of, interestingly enough, of how to go about hiring a college president. And it was a presentation from a firm that is associated, I think, in part with the American Community College Trustees Association. The presentation was very interesting, and my take on that ultimately was it's important to, it's more important to have a consultant than try to do it yourself. One of the things that was glossed over, I thought, was something I learned at the ACCTA conference, which was there were a group of presidents talking about presidential search, and one of them made clear if you've already got a future president in mind, don't waste my time interviewing me. And so again, the ultimate take on it was, you know, to go through serious vetting and all kinds of steps that I thought were interesting but eye-opening, and try to get the best fit that you can when you hire a new president. Then we broke out into our meetings. I serve on the Finance Committee, the Diversity Committee, and then the Governmental Affairs Committee. And the Finance Committee, I can report that the ICCTA is in good financial shape. I seem to remember that one of their employees either retired or moved on, and I think it took some time to replace that employee, and so that always helps the budget. But we're in the middle of a recalculation of dues, and it's 2 years into a 4-year program, but after that, they're going to do a reassessment of how much money was raised and what the financial needs of the organization is and that kind of thing. But we do pay for our lobbyist, and she is very good and answers all my questions. In any event, and we got I got a copy of the audit. There were no exceptions, and their budget is very, very reasonable and only a very small fraction of what Rock Valley's is. The diversity committee, the discussion centered around the effect of Supreme Court decisions, which seem to I don't want to say jeopardize, but cast some doubt on diversity initiatives. This committee had nobody who was in favor of that, of course, and Illinois is pretty much going on without a lot of major changes. And so far as I could understand the discussion, it seems that right now it's state by state. There is, of course, a guy from Texas who's filed lawsuits, and I think the president talked about that before, but nobody's that worried about those kinds of things. And we are coming up with another statement to present to the board and reaffirming additional diversity. So then finally, we had the Governmental Affairs Committee, and we reviewed our legislative goals and what was in the wind, what was practical. And the assessment of both the executive director, who reports mostly on federal legislation, and our lobbyist was things were kind of dull in the community college area. But we got to talking, and we came up with the idea that perhaps, well, I should back this up. Our executive director gave a report on I believe it's North Central Wisconsin State College, and they apparently have a extremely well-prepared and well-done department that trains their students for AI research, application, development, and all that kind of thing. But it seemed to all of us that they certainly weren't going to be able to meet the demand for AI engineers and all of that kind of thing. And perhaps that the Illinois community colleges could lead the nation and establish a statewide program very early, and maybe we could get the governor's attention for something like that, since he seems pretty progressive and open to several ideas that may make the people in this state and the state some money. And I would expect that, given the fact, as he pointed out in his comments at the Democratic National Convention, take it from a real billionaire. But if we could get some seed money, and we should do this with a joint effort, in my opinion, with all the community colleges, because it is such a huge and important issue. I think we may have a door to the future there. So, and I think everyone should get together and support this. And everyone at that committee meeting was very, very excited about that kind of potential. So, and that about sums it up for what happened.
Very good. Very good report, John. Any questions for John from very extensive reporting? Thank you very much.
Well, I like those meetings, Bob.
Huh?
I said I love those meetings.
I'd love to hear about what the chairman duties are. I mean, let me know about that. You got anything written down?
Well, Bob, you've got a good handle on that. Just, okay. They talked about transparency, and there are more than one community college where they have real difficulties among their boards.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, thank you very much again. Now it's time for trustee comments, and we'll start with Mr. Gorski.
Why, thank you. Not to be confused with, okay. All I want to say is it is a heads-up thanks to the staff for their efforts going into the October 22nd meeting at the ATC. I know it's a change of venue, takes some engineering, relocation. For some people, maybe it's closer to home, after the meeting. So, but I appreciate the effort going into it. And if you want to blame anybody, it was Bob and myself, I believe, the champion making it an annual event. So you can pick on us. But I think it's nice to focus on the ATC during that month at that location. So I want to thank you for your effort in making it happen. So thanks.
Thank you. Nico.
Oh, Gloria, actually.
Gloria.
Yeah, I just have a couple of quick things. Dr. Spearman touched on the ICCB's adequacy and equity in community college funding. I just wanted to add a couple of things that I attended my second meeting when we went with Dr. Mohammed as well. And I think the quick summary is that we are examining the current funding system. And basically, the two committees, the working group is the main one, and then we have the two subcommittees. But the main thing is that we will be doing research and offer recommendations to the ICCB on how to improve or enhance funding, which is really a no-brainer. But the main thing that I have come away with is that I have learned that the legislators need to be educated on the contributions and the value of what the community colleges bring to not only the community, but to our economy once we graduate our students. And because it just seems like, at least the impression that I received from some of the people that were talking and sharing their thoughts is that a lot of times the legislators don't really understand totally how the funding system works. So that's another factor that we have to educate them. So there will be a big focus on that. The second thing I wanted to mention is, speaking about the Professional Development Day, one of the things I've been really enjoying is watching the YouTube videos of Rock Valley College, which is really amazing. I mean, I get to see who the teachers are. Some of the students tell their testimonies, and it's really, really impressive. So I just wanted to congratulate you all and keep those videos going, because it's a good way to for us trustees to know a little bit more than the brief summaries that we get here or that we give. So keep them coming, Jennifer, wherever she is. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Gloria. Richard?
No comment.
Kristen?
I just want to give a kudos to the PD for helping my son whose car broke down in the parking lot. And he went in there and asked for a little help, and they got it started back up and on his way home. So, so thank you.
And there's a video about that, too.
So that's all I have.
John, anything else?
I know we all want to leave, so I'll say no for now.
No for now. Okay, I would just like to comment that You heard Dr. Spearman give a number of events going on this month of October, and I hope every one of us can attend at least one, if not two, of the events, because it does matter to the students and the leadership that we show our presence outside of this room. So I encourage everybody to make sure at least one, if not two, events to be attended. And it's a busy month, and thank you all, leadership, for helping put all these things together, because it's a lot of work and it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to raise our image up in the community even more. John?
Well, I did forget to mention, Bob, that I'd appreciate any trustee who could come to our meeting with the other trustees in our region. It would be greatly appreciated. The Rock Valley is still, and has been for years, crown jewel of the community college system. And so the other schools look up to us, and it would be nice to have at least a majority of our trustees at this. And then, and Howard's buying.
Yep. Well, October 1st at the ATC, and you get a free dinner.
We
Okay,
work for food.
student trustee report.
All right. They're going to show it on the board. Oh, wait. All right. So mainly what we're doing with the student trustee report is we're working with Dr. Oaks and other people in the Rock Valley area. Obviously, we're trying to register students for the upcoming election, November 5th. Obviously, early voting will be starting October 1st, the 21st to the 25th, October 28th to November 1st at Rock Valley. That's only, unfortunately, for Rockford residents. You're going to have to talk to the Rockford Election Board about that. Really can't pull on that. But our success for right now is 256, because this was the week before National Voter Registration Day. I think that was a week or two ago. So far, 256 students have been registered to vote through the portal, and 44 have begun the registration process through the portal. So there'll be 44 in addition to that eventually. So we're just hoping that we get as many students as possible to vote, and if they can't vote, we're trying to push them out to encourage their friends to vote, regardless of who or if they want to vote at all. So we're just trying to push that out. And then for early voting begins 26th, so this Thursday at the county clerk's office on Elm Street, and then there's one on Harlem and Alpine for non-Rockford residents. So one more thing, there will be an ISS meeting, field trip to the Puerto Rican Cultural Art Museum. Last year we did the Mexican Heritage Museum in, I think, Cicero or west side of Chicago. So that was a very interesting. So I hope the students enjoy that. So thank you so much for the report. Thank you so much for listening.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Good work.
Thank you.
Sorry. You all done? Nick?
Oh, yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you to make.
Question.
Yes.
On the report.
Yes.
First Tuesday.
Winnebago County Clerk couldn't offer an early voting location here?
So I think because Rockford actually has the city lines are in Rockford area, so this is actually considered Rockford. So that would be mainly for Rockford residents who don't want to go to the clerks are the downtown Rockford or city Rockford location.
Yeah, it is confusing, but you can do early voting down at the county clerk's office.
Yes.
So I don't know why they wouldn't be able to do an early voting site here also. So
yeah,
okay.
unfortunately.
I believe that's in JCSM 208
Yeah.
would be the classroom.
Oh, I forgot to mention JCSM.
Well, there is,
Chairman?
next year, there's Boone County,
Okay.
We have the
Mr. Chair,
ATC
I do have a
Center.
quick question for Nico.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you all have to be deputy registrars, or do you just register them online or help them with that?
So there's a few of us, Dr. Oaks is a person who was trained with the Winnebago County Clerk's Office to register people, but we can have people who don't have all the information because they need to know their social security number and all that to register. And if they don't know off the top of their heads, they can do it at home. It only takes about 20 minutes,
Right.
if that. So we have a portal that goes to the Illinois election, the Board of Elections that help you register, and then you get your county, your election voter card in the mail within 2 weeks after submitting that, obviously. So there are people you can register at Rock Valley if you want to, and then we'll send that to the clerk's office if applicable. So
Okay.
for them to just double check and see if it's legit. So
Sure. All right, thank you.
but,
Okay.
yes.
Anything else? All right, RBC report. The board meeting this morning, it was lunchtime. The scholarship season now is done, and there were a total of 707 applications. There were 380 awards. There was $743,721 available, of which $561,978 were awarded. So there was money left on the table, even though there was a lot of effort to get students to apply for these funds. The second item is that the foundation board is looking for 1 or 2 additional board members due to retirements. So if you know of any good citizen that would be interested in serving on the board, please approach either me or Dr. Spearman or Brittany direct. Pass the word. That's my report. Now we'll go on to Freedom of Information Act. FOIA, anything going on there to be looked at or talked about? Or
You were going to remind her about.
yes, I will.
Mr. Chairman, I do have a quick question
Sure.
on the FOIA. Again, refresh my memory, who do the citizens go to within the college for those?
For the FOIA report request, Jennifer Thompson is
Oh,
our
Jennifer,
FOIA
that's right.
officer.
Okay, thank you.
Backed up by Heather.
Okay. There will be no closed session. So in terms of next meetings, I got 3. One is next committee of the whole meeting, October 8th at 5:15. It'll be held here in the PAR room right on the main campus. The next regular board meeting will be October 22nd at 5:15. It'll be held at the ATC, room 1300. This location is only for this meeting. And one other item on meetings to be aware of is that the next COW meeting in November will be November the 5th, which is the first Tuesday, not the second Tuesday. So make sure you put that in. Of course, it does happen to be voting day.
Right. And we also have a meeting October 15th, right? A special meeting for the,
So why did we do that?
Why do we do that?
Seemed like a good idea at the time. or what? God.
Aren't you guys off that day?
I think November and December always because of the holidays.
No, I know we usually do it, but it's bad to have it on the day you vote. You get 4 hours off work to vote.
Due to Thanksgiving, you use the 1st and 3rd in November, and you use the 1st and 3rd week in December as well. Of course, it just happens to be
Just happens to be voting day.
I get it off. That's why I was hoping to do our interview meeting on the 14th, because I have that day off, but oh well.
Okay, so those are all the next meeting dates, and I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Whoa.
Second.
Nelson motion and Gorski seconded. Roll call.
Nelson.
Yes.
Padilla.
Yes.
Kennedy, yes. Michaels.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes.
Trojan.
Yes,
We are adjourned.
we are adjourned.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you all.
Good job, staff.